Hi, Church on Mill. Thanks for taking a few minutes to view another Jesus is Better video. We've got here with us some incredibly special friends. This is Phil and Julie Hoshiwara. Hello in Thailand.
Hi, family.
Thanks for making some time to talk to us. We've had some people join the church since you've left. Would you mind introducing yourselves and telling us how long you've been gone?
Yeah, we're Phil and Julie Hoshiwara, and we have been in Thailand for almost a year now, not quite.
Wow.
Left in July of last year. So we're studying Thai at the moment, and we'll be finishing that soon, graduating from a language school, and then hope to be partnering with the Thai church to make disciples and see churches planted in the future.
Awesome. Praise God. Wonderful news. Thank you for the investment that you're making there. Phil served as a resident at Church on Mill. Julie helped with literally everything under the sun she served in. Did such a great job. So these are our dear friends that, by God's grace, Church on Mill is continuing to partner with and hope to be a tiny part of what the Lord's doing through you guys for years and years and years to come. Sounds like there's been some other stuff going on there. Julie, do you have any news?
Yes, I do. We're gonna have in Thai you would say nong. Sophie's gonna have a nong, a little baby.
Okay.
Brother, sister in November.
Congratulations. This is wonderful. That's great. Well, it's wonderful to know that things work there as well as they do here. Congratulations.
So,
This interview in the direction I thought it was going to go.
So let's abruptly switch gears there. What have you guys been doing, spending the majority of your time on lately?
well, much like you guys, we are impacted here in a lot of ways by the COVID-19 coronavirus situation. So prior to that, we were in a really regular rhythm of going to language school every day. That's our primary focus, especially this first year. 100% of our ministry efforts and focus is on learning the language. Phil already has a good amount of that, but still it's going to be a lifelong process for both of us to really adopt this language as our own in a lot of ways. So anyway, that's our priority right now this year. But due to the coronavirus situation, we the past month and a half have been pretty much quarantined at home. We've gotten out as a family to some like rural areas just to be outside for a bit, but spend a lot of quality time together. And so it's been good and been hard.
Sure.
And I've been able to study myself online because I study with teachers at the school. So I was able to do a couple of Skype lessons a day and still maintain a fairly good pace with language action. So that's a huge blessing. But Phil kind of suffered in that because he was meeting with a local Thai pastor. He's graduated out of the language school program already. He was meeting with a Thai pastor locally, but he didn't feel comfortable continuing to meet in a public place, understandably so, the pastor. And so Phil has had to kind of push pause on that. So the past month and a half has been challenging for us too, just trying to figure out the language piece for both of us, how to continue progressing well, but also just feeling like, wow, we're really cut off from our church here, from the ministry opportunities, from just communication, even with things like with our neighbors, wanting to build relationship there. So it's been a challenge, but actually just a couple of days ago, we started back at the language school. It opened up again.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Here the coronavirus has had an impact, but not as severe as anticipated. So things are starting to reopen.
Okay. Yeah. That's good news.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they're beginning to re-emerge. Maybe that will make more to be able to happen there. How do you have any sense of how the pandemic's affected life in Thailand for the average person?
A little bit, mostly word of mouth. I mean, it's been hard in some ways because we've been quarantined, so a lot of it is not personally what we're seeing, but more what we're reading about or what we're hearing word of mouth. And like Julie said, it hasn't the cases that have been reported much lower, much lower than a lot of certainly than the States, but than a lot of other countries as well. I think they're maybe around just over 2,000 or something like that now. I haven't checked in a little while, but low amount of cases reported. The true number, it's hard to know, but it does seem like hospitals are not being overrun.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're not running out of ventilators or anything like that. But economically, there's been quite an impact on Thailand, which makes sense because they're a huge tourist industry. I think it's like 10 to 15% of their industry or their economy is tourism. And right now, all international incoming flights are banned. So you can imagine, and there were a lot of, all the shops and restaurants were closed down. Some places were able to do takeout. So definitely a lot of people have been impacted financially and are struggling in that sense.
Sure. Yeah. Well, we'll continue to pray, and hopefully that there won't be, second rounds of it, third rounds that are a lot more severe for you guys. Yeah. Kind of a bizarre experience to be on opposite sides of the world, and yet the same dominant issue we're facing. What an unusual experience this has been. Maybe you'll need to think like pre-quarantine, so back some weeks, but wonder if you could just tell us about somebody you've been ministering to.
Yeah, we'd love to do that. So I think it's fine for me to share her name.
Yeah.
Okay. So the person that comes to mind for us is a woman named P. Dow. So P is a term of respect. So we're kind of calling her Mrs. Her name is Dow.
Okay.
But Dow is the way we initially connected with her is she's one of Sophie's caregivers 5 mornings a week at the language school. And she's worked at this language school for missionaries for upwards of 10 years now. She looks like she's 18, but she has a daughter who's older than that. So P. Dow is in her probably mid 40s. But Sophie has become really attached to her. So she's a huge answer to prayer for us. And many of you listening to this have prayed, that Sophie would adjust well and that we would have trusted friends and grow in relationship with people that could care for her apart from us. So we're praising God for P. Dow. P. Dow doesn't know. I think she's heard the gospel. We haven't yet shared that with her in its entirety. But I think over 10 years of doing life with missionaries to a certain extent, I think we've heard her say something to the tune of, I'm not a Christian yet. So she knows some truth.
Okay.
But we've gotten to spend a lot of time with her and really have seen and have had other people say, wow, there's a unique openness that she has to your family. Not because of anything we've done. I think part of it is because Phil is able to communicate more effectively in Thai than some other parents that she's interacted with. So I think there's a level of comfortability. There's not intimidation with, we can't understand each other at all. And I think she and I have like a natural connection too in our personalities maybe. And I think she loves Sophie too, you and Lee. So all that to say, P. Dow has several adult kids at their college age that we've been able to form relationship with in early stages. And we just see a real openness and a real desire. And again, like other people at the language school, other Thai people have said, this is really unique. Like, oh, she's had you in her home. Oh, she's been in your home. We've celebrated Thai holidays with her. She's taught me how to make Thai dumplings. Like there's a lot of just time spent So we're praising God for that relationship. We would ask for prayer for boldness. We've had conversations before, and Phil's just said, "Man, I want to." We have ability, like, and we wanted a joyful excitement to say, "We love you. You're our dear friend. This is who Jesus is." So we want boldness to do that. We also would love prayer for just wisdom and how to continue to build relationships. So yeah, COVID-19 context, we feel like our relationship took a hit a little bit because I was starting to meet with her daughter for some English lessons, but that stopped. And we're looking right now at what's the best way to move forward with time spent with them. God give us energy and strength to do that. It's kind of tempting to just kind of pull back from a lot of practical ministry when you're here, because you do kind of feel like you're just surviving. And then in addition to that, language school and like just daily life is hard.
Yep.
But we do want to press into that and not lose momentum in that relationship. So yeah, please pray for P. Dow and her daughter Mook, and pray for us as we continue to build that relationship. So did I leave anything?
No, that's great. Yeah.
Awesome. That's remarkable, just given the length of time you've been there to have that kind of a relationship already. It's wonderful.
Sophie's pretty persuasive and demanding.
Sophie does have an ability that I think may have come from her mother. That's great. Thanks for sharing that with us about PDAO. So if the Thai person was a man, would you say P and then their name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So I may try to bring that over here.
Pizza.
See what happens over here. If we try to bring
Chuck would be Ajahn Chuck, your pastor Chuck, which is Ajahn. So you can make people start calling you Ajahn.
It's more likely they call me P something.
More often they already call you that, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. We're thinking as a church right now about the big truth that Jesus is better. It's been easy for us to kind of get into conversations that sound more like I can't wait for things to get back to normal. And so we've been trying to help people think about a closer walk with Christ is better than the pandemic being over. And so that's kind of generating a lot of good conversation here. I wonder, has the Lord been using that theme in your own hearts in any way? And if so, how?
For me, I've been reading in Isaiah recently, and just last week was in Isaiah 46, where God talks about idol worshippers, these Babylonians who have to carry their idols on beasts, and these idols have no power to save them. And then you contrast it with God, who is the one carrying Israel. And he says he's carried you from the womb, and he'll carry you until to your gray hairs, and he's able to save. And that was just really impactful for me to think about that, because I do think, this whole situation, it exposes a lot of idols, and I think we've had to do some soul searching as well. Why are we responding sinfully in these situations, or reacting this way because we're not getting, things aren't the way we would like them to be? Or why are we thinking so much to the future? Like you said, if it would only just be back to like this, things would be good. So it's been very, it just exposed how weak and undependable our idols are, and it's been really good for me to reflect on Christ being the one who's carrying me. And idols are such a burden to carry, and they can't ultimately save, but Christ is carrying me, and he saved us. So that's been a really encouraging passage to think on.
Awesome. Really beautiful. Thanks for sharing that, Phil.
Yeah.
Well, tell us something in Thai.
Preliminary question. Do you think, what is the likelihood that a Thai speaker would be listening to this recording?
Are any of the members at church know Thai?
If so, Phil will be speaking. If not, I'm happy to say something.
Not
Real
like
question. Okay, sorry. Okay. Let's see. I'll say something and then Chuck, you can guess what I've said. You can
Okay,
guess it.
sounds great.
She's not premeditated.
I haven't premeditated this,
Perfect.
which is I should have. เวลาดิฉันคิดว่าครอบครัวดิฉันที่โบสถ์มีคิดถึงมากมีรู้สึกแรงเวลาดิฉันคิดว่าทุกคนอธิษฐานแล้วก็ทุกคนช่วยมากขอบคุณมากค่ะคิดถึงมาก
Julie.
Mostly what you said there. It's very good. She said when she thinks of everyone at Church and Mill, she misses them very, very much.
It's true.
And it's just grateful for the support that
The
they've
prayers,
been,
the help.
Yes. I heard the word prayer in there, the word prayer in there. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I thought you said
Active language.
Yeah, you did really great, Julie. That's amazing.
You would have no idea if I did really poorly.
That's true. I thought you said, would you like to go for some boba tea? No? Why? Why would you not want to go for boba tea? That's incredible.
Go for boba tea.
Oh, God. I wish I could say that if you want. I do know boba tea was number 2 on my necessary vocab list.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. Any idea what's next for you guys?
We're actually kind of in the middle of that right now, working through that. It looks like we'll be staying here in Lopburi. That's the city where we've been living the past year, and working with a church called like Lopburi Blessing Church or something like that.
What is it in Thai?
Tan Prapsejak. Yeah. So the details are still being sorted out. We still don't know exactly where we're going to be living in terms of like, so we're doing that right now.
Okay.
But we're really excited to have a better idea of who we'll be serving with. And alongside that, we'll be working with a prison ministry in Lopburi as well. So our time's going to be a little bit divided. Those might not be as connected as I kind of hope that they would be.
Okay.
But I think it's a good option for us first term.
Yeah. Wonderful.
So we'll give more details and updates as we know, since we just had today. So.
Sure. Well, that's great. Encouraged to hear of some developments, and know that's been a major source of prayer and big issue on your minds. What you do right after language school. So it's great to hear. Praise God for beginning to open some doors and give some direction. And gosh, you're going to be an enormous blessing. The name of the church is fitting. You'll be a tremendous blessing to them. Move ahead. Anything else you'd want to say to folks at Church on Mill?
I would just say thank you so much. So many of you are faithful to check in with us and to love on us and send us Marco Polos and message us and Facebook. And I know like so many countless others are praying for us consistently that don't share that. We just praise God for your faithfulness and absolutely know that we are upheld by the prayers of the saints. And if there's like one concentrated area of saints praying for us, it's at Church on Mill in Tempe. So we're just so thankful for you. And really, I feel very strongly that we couldn't be without that. We couldn't have lasted this far, and we won't continue to endure in some harder things without your participation. So thank you for praying for us and loving us well.
Yeah, I echo all of that. We miss you guys a ton. What we received from you all during our time there, and it's just I think we probably took a lot for granted. And now being out in Thailand, where we can't have the same kind of community in some ways just because of the cultural and language barriers, but not just that. I think what's at Church on Mill really is special, and I think I don't know any churches in Lopburi that have that, and I don't, not to speak poorly of the church in Lopburi, but there's just different levels of maturity in churches and even in countries as a church grows in a country.
Sure.
So we are really blessed by you guys and really miss you, and are so thankful that we still get to have some sort of connectedness to you all.
Yeah.
You're in our prayers.
Thank you. That's humbling to hear. All the feelings are mutual. Love you guys. Think of you often. Pray for you publicly and privately, and look forward to continuing to walk with you. Lord willing, someday be able to have people over to help serve. So thankful for you. Grateful you chose to take a couple minutes of your time. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you.